chat. All messes are so anybody wants to talk to me, you guys can talk to me. And what I want to say, what is this crap? Let me try it. Let me see what the hell this shit is. I don't want that shit. Look at what does it put me like that? These are all different. I just want the regular. All right, because I'm used to regular. So what I'm doing is this. This video right now that I'm doing is about how Batman from the Warlords snitched or turned state evidence against two other warlords that I'm not gonna name. Oh yeah, what was his name? I thought I forgot the name. Chief and Edgar. So I got locked up, like I said before in other videos. By I had got locked up. No, cancel. I want to end. I want to end this bullshit. Live chat. Yeah, no, I want to leave live chat. Anyways, so I go to Cook County Jail. I think it is 86, 88. Second time I went through there in Division One. I forgot what the fuck I went for, but a robbery or some shit like that. Um, yeah, robberies. Uh, so I run into Batman, who was there at the same time with from the unknowns, G-Man, and I told the story about G-Man, how he killed Bulldog, how he told me about what happened, how he gunned down him, and how he gunned down Bulldog. He served his time. He's out. He's doing good. He's really. I'm saying, I wish G-Man, you should contact me, bro. So, anyways, I'm in there with Batman, and Batman's telling me how, everybody talks in there. I told him my story. They told me. I wasn't asking him no question. Batman tells me that they had shot football. That's what happened. So the night they shot football, I had just went over there. I passed the guys up. They went up to shot football. I had bought weed. And then in the front, there was another guy that I know. I'm going to tell a story. There was a Spanish Lord, and he was to the front, and we're together now. He was coming to the front, I was leaving through the alley, and there were folks, maniacs, whoever. They went up there, they knocked on the door, and they shot bull, shot fucking football from the unknowns or kings in the face. Shot Danny and somebody else, and I had just left it from buying weed. I'm a Harrison Gent. Dude's a Spanish Lord. I used to go over there. I knew all of them. I knew all of them. They didn't give me, but when we were fighting, they already knew. It could be my cousin. If we were fighting and this is my boy, he's a gent, and you're gonna jump, you gotta jump me too. If not, it was cousin to cousin, brother to brother, friends to friends. We were good like that, but if something happened, we all took our steps. And when I took my step, I wasn't on the step with the Latin Kings, brother. Everybody got that shit fucked up. I was in the step with the motherfucking Harrison Gents, because I was a Harrison Gent. And I did what I had to do. If I shot a cousin or he shot me, whatever the fuck, that happened between us. And I ain't gotta mention their names. I'm not never gonna mention their names. But it's for the lesson. We don't even need to be fighting. But if we do, that's how we get down. Together, how bad can we be together? And I'm not just talking about Latinos. Everybody that we influence. How many black people are not raised with us? And you talk to them, and what they they talk and they act is like Boricua. So the black people are cuffed with us. The white people too, they're cuffed with us. It don't mean no difference. They're cuffed with us. It could be Asians. They're cuffed with us. Once you grow up in a neighborhood, it's like if I was Puerto Rican. I grew up with the Polish, and they taught me everything too. You're gonna be growing up with the people that are around you, and as long as everybody's smart enough to know to stick together and fuck that bullshit about he's white, he's black, he's this, he's that. Fuck that. We don't gotta deal with that garbage, man. If you're real or not. If you're real, you're good. If you're not real, we shouldn't act unreal motherfuckers, bro. Unreal person. I don't care who they are, white, black, your own, Puerto Rican, Mexican, Chinese, any motherfucker thing, dominicano, cubano, argentino, de cualquier, alemán, German, Polish, French, English. If you fucked up, you're fucked up. And if you are a greedy son of a bitch and you hate people, Don't be around every people. Fuck them. Run them out. So I'm in the politics mindset now. And I'm going to stick back to what I was talking about. Because I almost forgot because I keep on smoking weed. And I do have my little drink, you know. And that's why I have to talk about this because I'm my real shit, bro. I'm chilling out and let you guys know I'm drinking a little beer. This is a cigarette, but I got my little joint and I smoke my joint. But I'm telling you shit, okay? Let me get back to what I was talking about. Bam, bam, man. What the fuck was it? Okay, I can't fucking remember now. I'm fucking high as a motherfucker. No, Batman. I'm in Division 1. And in those days, in the 80s, in Division 1, it was a spooky fucking place, okay? You had like one, two, three, four, five buildings. It was like G well, H well, I well, A whatever the fuck the wells were on 26th Street in between California and Sacramento, and had been originally in 20s, I believe, when it was made. It was not Cook County Jail. It was the Chicago Police Department lockup. All right, so you go in, and El Capone was in there, and they had the electric chair in there, and the last son of a bitch that executed in Cook County Jail was this dude that Jaws. I met Shell and Division Damon back in the day. Shock and Blue. Yeah, I text it to me again. It was too fast for me. So what happened was Division 1. Back in those days, it was old, brother. The doors, you were in the cell, right? Real small. But they made them for two. Back then, it was just one. And each door had a sliding door. Not the one that opens and closes, but the one that slid up and slid up. And they opened all times, and then it became, when I got there was two people in the cell. But you could keep those doors because they used to have they used to have all the fuck little, and Division 1 was the only place in that piece that you could have a fucking little radio for batteries. So we used to use those batteries, and they would put them in between the doors. When they slammed the door, control is when Mark did the doors locked, but the door wasn't locked. Nobody's door. And the guards would give. The guards would come and pass out the packages. Beer, liquor, marijuana, all around, cocaine, heroin, to everybody. I used to just get weed and alcohol. It was me, G-Man, and Batman getting high all the time. That's what I was going to say in the last time when G-Man was talking to me. When I didn't even interrupt. I didn't even ask him to talk to me. Same thing with we were all getting high in the cells. And the cell was up all night. Our doors were open. Batman was in the cell next to me. I believe G-Man was either with me or next to me. That's why the doors were open, bro. At 11 o'clock or 12, whenever the fuck they closed, the cells were open and they would lock only the enter. So we couldn't go out to where they had the recreation. Then you got the guards in there. They would look in one tier, there was on this side, and the other side there was G. They could see both sides, right? So I remember, because rest in peace, my brother. I'm gonna tell you his name in a minute because I heard he got killed by a train on over there by Grand and Grand and Cicero. That he was on a train, he was getting high, and then he got by a train. And I don't believe it. I believe somebody done something to him. And I go over now about Richard. If anybody knows Harrison Gent, Richie from Cortez and Ashland, Coco's, I believe it was Coco. Listen to what I got to say. Richard got hit by a train, but he was high, and I believe, because there was people around him, that they pushed him on the track. We're gonna find out. Richard was there, so Richard was working. He come to, hey, what's up, Joey? We're getting high. He could sit. Richard was working the whole thing. The guards let him, and we would sit there all fucking night. Me and Richard smoking weed, drinking fucking alcohol. I'm even talking about getting fucked up because the cells were like, my cell is this room, right? But right here next to it, there's a fucking gallery and there's bars. Why? Because the guards could walk on the outside. We're in the inside. We're in the inside and they're on the outside. They could walk all around us. And they let the workers walk through there too. The workers would come and bring us packages, as a matter of fact. So if I buy something from the guard, I say, hey, here's 100. I need this, that, whatever. I was getting no cocaine on that shit at the time. Just weed. Weed and alcohol. Fuck it. We were drinking and smoking. And Richard would come drop off the package to me. Or the guard maybe once in a while too. Depending. You know, it was all hush hush. So, and my family would meet him, them, right there on 26 and Cal, by the Popeyes. By the Popeyes. Amor, brother, Joshua the Righteous. Amor. I'm telling a story about Cook County Jail, Division 1, when I was with Batman, and how Batman, so Batman told me, bro, I'm going to tell you now, I'm going to get to the meat of the thing, of how Batman told me what happened. And remember, this is in the 80s. Batman serves his time. He's gone. Plus, he's in Mexico. He just came not too long ago, but he turned state evidence on two brothers that was called Chief and Edgar from the Warlords. He turned state evidence. What he told me was that after this guy got shot, football in the face by the shotgun, and I told you I had just left when he got shot. I had left and then he got shot. I passed the guys up that were shooting him, and in the front, when they ran out, they ran into my guy, who was a Spanish lord, and they stabbed him. So me and him are together now, but we got the story together. Yeah, that Popeyes. So what happened was that they shot him and all this other shit. They shot football. They went up there on division between Damon and motherfucking Oakley. Shot him up on the 3rd floor. Blinded him and everything. And then, so they were like, you know what? We gotta do Jaws. What's up, Jaws? That's it. Yeah. We gotta do something. So, motherfucking this guy, fucking damn, from the Warlords. I kept saying this. I said his name, but like Batman. So Batman tells me see, we were talking. G-Man was there when he was talking too. I'm not asking him questions, Papa. This is 1988, 86. I'm smoking like this, a joint in Division 1, and we're getting fucked up. And I got 2 motherfucking 4 robberies, all right? I got 4 armed robbery cases, nigga. No, 5 from Ashland, Augusta, and Greenview. I stuck 5 motherfuckers up, all right? And they got me with everything, a pistol and everything. So anyways, so Batman tells me that after they did that they went in the car, they were driving, blah, 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 according to him, which I don't believe. He said that he went over there, and they went and picked up some dude, some Puerto Rican kid that was walking around there, supposedly selling weed. They asked him if he would sell weed. He said, yeah. They told him to get in the car. They took him in the car, and then they took him because they got him from right there by like Division in California, according to Batman. And I can't tell you if it's true or not because I do not trust them. And that they took him back over there by Damon Division in the alley, and they told him he was gonna die. To say your last wish, he got on his knees, and he begged for his life, and they boom, 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 they killed him. So according to Batman, that dude was executed by Chief and Edgar, but that testimony was really, really smelly, bro. I didn't trust it. When he told me that, I don't know. I can't tell you. I mean, is it possible? Yeah. But is it real that Chief and Edgar really did the murder? I don't know. And I don't believe it because there was no evidence. Everybody they had to testify, and there was some girls that call them New Yorkers. If you're from Humboldt Park, you're going to know the New Yorkers because I even went out with one of the girls. And they testified, you know. So, but the brothers are out. I heard they're out, Chief and Edgar are out. And I'm thinking that they spent a lot of time in there when they weren't supposed to. But Batman turned state evidence, according to him. They offered him 12 years if he's going to testify. And I looked at it, I said, what are you going to do? And G-Man told him, too, we're not going to hurt him there. or kill him or nothing like that because I mean I'm an agent. I can't do nothing to him anyways. If anybody's gonna do to him, it's got to be G-Man or the Kings or something, not me, unless they ask me and I volunteered, but I didn't and it didn't go down there. So he went down 12 years, got out 6 years, something like that, and the other guys just got out now, but he got out in fucking early '90s, and these other guys got out just recently. Okay, so you got to be careful, man. You got to be careful who you fuck with. You never know when you can catch a case, even if you don't do it. All right. So that's the story about how Batman from the Warlords told me when I was locked up and we're on Division One. I was a Harrison Jen. I was there with with G-Man from the Unknowns, and it was just me, G-Man, and Chief. And when I came in, remember, when I got up there in Division One, there were no Latinos up there, nigga. It was just G-Man, and he was an unknown, and motherfucking Batman. And it was G-Man that ran up to me, who asked, he didn't even ask me, he didn't ask me what gang. He said, you Latino? I said, yeah. And gave me the fila. I said, but he goes, don't worry. He said, look, there's only 3 of us up here. 3 Latinos. You, me, and Batman. I was like, what? And then that was it. We were like this then. We had to be like that. It was us 3 against the whole fucking tier. They were all blacks. All right? And they were gangsters. You let them, man, forget it. We had to back our shit up. You know? And it almost happened like that. We almost got into a fucking war with them. I had to pull a shank and a big ass motherfucking preto. Vice Lord put up a fucking big ass shank. And I was like, damn. G-Man calmed it down. He hold on, let's do this, be cool. And then we all chilled out. But it was just me from the gents, Joey. All right? Me from the gents, G-Man from the Unknowns, and Batman from the Warlords. Because even though he turned state evidence, he still got down. He had a shank. And there was only 3 of us, bro. And we survived. All right? So that's my story. And G-Man, he got out, but he lived his whole life in hiding. He had to go to Mexico. He just came not too long ago and stood for a little. He stood 63rd Ambrose Beast. Yeah, my man, 63rd Ambrose. So Batman came back not too long, 2 years ago. But see, since he testified against his own brothers, which I don't believe was true, what he said, that they committed the murder, but he had to hide out for the rest of his life. He's still hiding out to this day. He can't even, he came to Chicago 2 years ago, a year ago, and then the brothers came out and everybody came out against him. So I doubt that Batman, he's in Mexico hiding out, that he's ever going to come back. He lost his whole life for bullshit. All he had to do was keep his mouth shut. There was no evidence against anybody. Because I don't even believe it was real that Chief and Edgar committed any murder on that guy. On that guy. And in that instant. Okay, I don't believe that. So Batman, you know, you probably see this later on because I'm going to send it to your relatives. You wasted your whole life doing that. And you know, you can't even come over here right now in this 2023. So that's going to be the end of that. I'm not against you or nothing. You paid your price since 1980s until now. And you've been hiding out. Can't even come to your own city, your own neighborhood. No, it was people and folks back in the day, Division One. There's always been the split up. They were able to manipulate the authorities to put them all in one tier or the another, because the gangs had a lot of fucking power back then, bro. Back in the 80s and 70s in Cook County, we were rolling. Listen, when you went to Cook County Jail, that's when you went to school. and you're going to meet everybody from all the city, and people that are coming from Mexico getting caught up, and the black brothers that were there, what they were doing, they're looking for connections. What do you think they connected for the drugs with the 2-6, with the Mexican cartels, the blacks from the west side? What do you think? In Cook County Jail, brother. Cook County Jail. That's where all the fucking organization started with everything. Back in the 80s, with the Mexicans and the blacks in Chicago. The Mexican cartel. And I'm talking about motherfucking El Chapo. Because the blacks were dealing with El Chapo from the west side. They're getting rich too. Everybody was getting rich. Everybody's getting rich. You know, it's a new day now. Stateville, yeah, I've been to Stateville, Joshua. Stateville was under control. Everything was under. One time they didn't let me, another land key in the elevator, go home. So okay, I didn't catch the last one, but yeah, Stateville was in the. It was Stateville. When you went to the joint in the old days, they let him go first. I don't know what that was, but in the old days, in the 80s, early 80s, when I went down in 84. I got there in February. Late right after February 14th, St. Valentine's, because I got convicted on St. Valentine's Day for 2 attempt murders. 2 attempt murders on St. Valentine's. I got convicted, or something like that. Aggravated battery with great. Tell us more about Papa King. I'm gonna get back to Papa King. So when I went to the joint, I had to go to Joliet. They were still open, motherfucking shit. And that place was scary, brother. Oh, yeah, Division 9, forget it, bro. Don't remind me, bro. Those were bad times for me, bro. You don't want to be there, brother. It's still there. You don't want to be there. Old Joliet was gangster from the long time. Motherfucking El Capone had been in there. All kinds of motherfuckers. Babyface Nelson. And that place was old, and it was dangerous. And they had the tombs where they had everybody a separate. Anybody who had life 100, 300 years, 400 years. I ran into the motherfucking leader of the Rippers crew. The Rippers crew, there was a Chicago white boys gang that were killing women, prostitutes. They killed like 18, 19 people. And they used to come by the gents on Bosworth and Division because dude that was the leader, Robin Geck. If you look Robin Geck up right now, he's in Menard. He got 120 years. All right. That motherfucker used to come over there. I recognized him. They handcuffed him next to me. And a black brother told me, hey, bro, Latino, you know who that dude is? I said, what do you mean? He says, yeah, that white boy handcuffed next to you. I said, yeah. Who? He said, that's the motherfucker that was killing all the women and stabbing them, cutting their breast off, eating them, and then fucking them in the chest. And I looked at dude, and he started, but he was the brother-in-law of another Harrison gent that I knew that was older, named Big Bill, the killer. Big Bill was a killer. And he was older than us, but he ran the buildings on Bosworth where the gents had where we had our club. But he was a killer. So one day, that guy, Robin Geck, brought a van. I was standing there. He got out the car. I remember him. He called his brother-in-law, William, and they opened the side door. But I peeked in. When I peeked in, I seen a black girl, and they had her cuffed. They had the black girl cuffed. And he told her, it looked like he wanted Bill to let him use the apartment because it was 2 buildings. There was a basement, first floor, second, third, and an attic, and then a back place. And they wanted them to let him take that girl back there so they could do their satanic rituals, and they were gonna kill her. But he said no. But I seen the girl, and then like 2 3 days or a month later, I heard about the girl. They found on Ashland and Fullerton by the Wendy's or whatever that was, McDonald's by the Chicago River. Dead, the last one. And that's her. That's the girl. That's the same one. I know it was. Now, I was even with Coco Rallis. Coco Rallis was one of them that was involved. There was two Coco Rallises. Andrew Coco Rallis, and anybody want to challenge me, look this shit up in history. Look up Andrew Coco Rallis. Kokoraelis. He was the last one executed in the state of Illinois, right here, where I'm at now. Because I'm not in South. I'm not in South Dakota right now. I'm in Chicago, Chinatown. So he was the last one executed. His brother got away, and his brother came out, and I know his brother, Thomas Kokoralis, the leader. 120 years. He's up there. He's eligible in a couple. He can get out soon. He can get out. Tommy Kokoralis. Yes. Oh, Thomas Jaws. Who? And Tommy. Somebody asked me, okay, I don't want to get lost, Jaws. Somebody asked me about what? Who was it you guys asked me about to talk about? I'm telling you, I'm a little bit buzzed. Tell me. Because I was there. I'm not going to lie to you. If I don't know about it, I don't know about it. And if it's hearsay, I'll tell you, well, this is what I heard. And I'll tell you who I heard it from. And you could decide whether or not. So anyways, they were called, look up the motherfucking Andrew brother was, no, these are not the same guys. Papo King, there you go. All right, Chito, you want me to talk about Papo King. So when I was a little kid, from remembrance, 4 or 5 years old, Papo King was at my tío. He used to be on Ashland Cortez, up and down Ashland, Boswell, Black Hawk. They used to all, the gents and the kings all got together. I used to be in his car with him. He loved me. He was like my own. Years later, he was locked up. I seen him in a joint. I was a gent. I was Gordo from the Spanish Lord. This is my brother from the street. The Spanish Lord. The Spanish Lords and the Harrison Gents. That's the next one. I'm going to give you the history of the Spanish Lords and the Harrison Gents that you guys don't know about, but I do. So I bodyguarded him with Gordo for a year. Wherever he went, I moved with him. I had Shank. Gordo had a Shank. Because in those days in the 80s, you didn't have to worry about the guards stopping you. If you were a chief and they were giving you credit, they were giving Papo credit because Papo didn't want to do nothing with nothing. So they already knew that he could get hit. They weren't fucking around. Gordo had a knife. I had a knife. They knew we had it. And wherever he moved, we moved. When he went to the visiting room, we were allowed outside of the visiting room. Okay? Nobody can get to Papo King with us. And me and Gordo used to sit up. And we were smoking weed, but Papo King wasn't. We were smoking weed, we were drinking, getting high. And we would talk to each other. And we said, well, what are you going to do? I said, hey. He said, you dedicated? I'm dedicated, nigga. And that was it. And, I mean, if anything happened, we would have went out. We would have went out. I'd have been a dead motherfucker or whatever. I was taking somebody with me. If anybody moved on Papo King, me and Gordo already knew. There's no talk. It was all shanks. That's when we're going to start stabbing motherfuckers. All right? So, Papo King, I would be in the cell. Gordo would be outside the cell. We're in the South Hall of Centralia. That's where it was, in Centralia. Papo would be sitting there. You know what he was doing? He was reading the Bible. Papo King read the Bible and practiced the Bible. Yeah, 11. Yeah, he was from there, 11 and Shiloh too, but Damon and Division, all that. He was the original Papo King, the original Papo King. I'm not talking about anybody else but the original Papo King. Not Papo Warlord, not Papo nothing. Papo King from the Latin Kings, the original Latin King, Papo King, Puerto Rican, white, blanco with black hair. Papo King. He was real white. Right? He looked like a Spaniard or some shit like that. Real white. That's what I'm talking about. So, and then Papo King, according to what I found out later, he supposedly had a violation coming for doing something, but when the violation didn't call for him to get killed. It was for him to used to get a shot in the leg. Like usually it's a shot in your leg. Yeah, Papa King back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Papa King was locked up, but he was from the hood. Ask your family. Ask them about the original Papa King, not Papa Warlord or none of those Papos. Papa King, the original Papa King. He may be, but there's Papa Kings in New York, but this is not the Papa King I'm talking about. That's separate, the Land King. So there's a controversy where the Land King started. As far as the Land Kings now that we know with Lord Gino and all these, it started here in Chicago. The Land King started in Chicago. I was in Lawrenceville. Yeah, I was in Lawrenceville. You remember me in Lawrenceville? I was there in Lawrenceville. Yeah, I was there. I was in Lawrenceville, bro. There was Meme and Güero from the Harrison Gents down there back then. I met Güero from the Harrison Gents and Little Meme from the Harrison Gents. You were down there, 7 Evan and Lawrence. Were you there when I was down there? I'm trying to remember, bro. I'm old, bro. You guys got to forgive me, bro. I'm just trying to give you the real history, but give me a chance because Carlos Zuniga. That name song, you guys, that name sounds real fucking familiar to me. Zuniga. Yes, he connected with the Warlords because everybody at that time, with the Young Lords, because at that time the Young Lords with what was his name? I'll tell you his name in a minute. The leader, uh, they went from being a gang to being a community activist, and it just so happened that a lot of the Latinos, the whatever gang, even whites, whatever gang you were in, and they would accept you. And the Young Lords, if you were real about chop it up in the chow, the chaw, cha cha. Hey, the chaw is a motherfucker. You know they got guards in that motherfucker, bro, with the rifles in those bitches. I'll tell you one thing. You know what happened one time? In the old days in Joliet, any gang banging shit happened, they start shooting. Pa, 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 pa. I'm talking about 1984. I was in there. I was 18. And I'm going to tell you, no, hell no. I'm going to tell you something. And I'm going to be real. I was afraid like a motherfucker. I was afraid. But I wasn't trembling. Because to be afraid is one thing. To be trembling is another. If you're, everybody's gonna be afraid of whatever the fuck. But when you're ready to take what you gotta take, and I said, whatever comes my way, fuck it. Then I was good. You know, you can't be trembling and be in a joint, brother. And I can tell you, I don't care if you're in there. If you gotta do what you gotta do, you're gonna do what you gotta do. I don't give a fuck if you gotta fucking break out of that motherfucker. I don't care if you gotta face by yourself 10, 20 motherfuckers that wanna kill you. You better be ready to die. And they're gonna be ready to die. Because if they don't, I seen one motherfucker take out 6 dudes in Menard. And they killed him. The guards killed him. His name was, it was in Menard. It was Ku Klux Klan down there. Betty. In 84, when I went down there, I was in the hill. The white boys ran that shit. Ku Klux Klan. Bello from Do or Die, WZ, my celly at that time, bro. I don't remember, bro, but I tell you one thing. If you were down there, you were down in Lawrenceville. Because they sent me there for punishment. I had been in every prison just about. And when I got there, they told me, hey, Joseph, you've been in almost all the prisons in Chicago, and you still ain't learned your lesson. I'm like, what? So, well, you're going to learn your lesson here in Lawrenceville. Straight up. That's how it was. And because I had been fucking up all the time, right? But I was doing good too. And I don't give a fuck how long you fucked up. You can fuck up all your life, nigga. Look at right now. Man, thank you. thank you, Jesus, that my book is getting edited. It's gonna be out a little bit more because I'm doing a little bit of underground work with the politicians. I'm getting a little bit of pay, and I could pay off what I owe, which is $1,100. But I already paid 400, so I owe 7, and I'm gonna have my book out there. All right. I'm more. I That book is about the Puerto Ricans in Chicago and all of us. It comes from the Puerto Rican view, but it has to do with blacks, whites, and everybody else. From West Town, Wicker Park, Humble Park, where I grew up. Because I'm only going to talk about what I know. And also about Cabrini Green. I got some hell stories in the bone. And it's not just from what I'm saying. I got interviews with people that lived it. I got one of the main princes, original princes of the Latin Kings, who gave me his story, bro. And it's called The Rising of the Latin Kings in Chicago, bro. I got the shit, and it's hot. And am I telling you it's gonna be like some movie or not? No, I'm giving it to you as a reporter, like almost. But I give you my history too. You know, I put my shit in there when I was a gent, gang banging, shooting, stabbing motherfuckers. We're doing every motherfucker thing. Yeah, I knew Benji he was a good kid, but I don't know his story. So his story is not, Benji's story is not in my book because Benji comes after. But I knew Benji, yeah. He was a good brother. Good. And he was a good chief, though. The Micareros, Bell got locked up like, it talks about everything from 1984 about the gents gangbanging, going back to a long time. And it talks about the gangs when they first started in the 1830s and 40s. The gangs started in the 1830s and 40s in Chicago, Papa. But they weren't Puerto Ricans and they weren't blacks. They were Irish. Then they became Polish. Then they became Italian. There was Germans, Scandinavians, Jews, Jewish people. The Jews are the ones that are less likely. They were gangsters. That's when it starts, all right? And then it comes all the way up to when the Puerto Ricans came in the 50s. And the Indians came. The Native Americans that came back to the cities, they were called relocation. And that's how we all got together. Yeah, Daley was the mayor at that time. Mayor Daley was a member of the motherfucking Hamburg gang. It was called the Hamburg Athletic Club. Right here, where the fuck I am, Daley lived down the street right here on Emerald. I'm the next block over from him. He's right there. He was a hamburger. They call them hamburgers, the Puerto Ricans. But they were the Hamburg Athletic Club. Yeah, they started in 1919 riots. Daley started the 1919 race riot here in Chicago. Look it up. Look up the 1919 Chicago race riot. And you're going to learn about Mayor Daley right here. It happened down the block right here. Because that's north. That's north over here by Humble Park. That's over there where it happened on the 26th Street beach. I'm right down the block. Daley lives right here. Or used to, and his family lives there. They still own the building. But yeah, Daley was a gang member. Yeah. Any more questions? Daley was born in the early 1900s. He became a gang member first, then he became the leader of the Hamburg Athletic Club. They were sponsored by a politician. Then he got into politics. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. There's been a long history about gangs and politics in Chicago. All right? Gangs and politics go hand in hand. Because that happened? Because the gangs are on the street. They're the young guys. They're everybody. Guess what they do for you? They get the signatures for you. And in those days, they used to be the hardliners. They would go bust somebody's heads for you. Go firebomb a house for you. I knew Puncher from the Vikings. I do got something nice to say about him. But I'll let you know something about me and Puncher. Me and Puncher don't get along. But I'll tell you the good stuff about him. When I was a little kid, I knew Puncher. All right? Yeah, Shy West. Yeah, because they kept their neighborhood. Remember that. If the Shy West were Puerto Ricans, and they were protecting the neighborhood, beat fucking anybody up that came in that neighborhood that did dirt, don't you think it'd be the same thing? Shy West, I knew them. I never personally fought with them, did I know? But I knew we were enemies. But as far as Gato from the Vikings lived in my hood. Gato from the Vikings. Which one is Gato from the Vikings? I don't know Gato. I don't remember Gato. Maybe I do. I don't know. I knew Gato from the Spanish, from the Saint Disciples. But all over Chicago Avenue and Horn. Chicago and Horn? Didn't that turn over there by Land Kings then? Didn't that turn Land Kings over there? One side was Shy West. It used to be Cinos on the other side. Like I told you, I got a cousin. Rest in peace. My cousin Joey is my primo hermano, my first cousin. Joe Bandit. And he used to be one of the, he had his turn at being one of the leaders of the C Notes with Frankie O and all those people back there, Stanley and back then. But he was my cousin and there were C Notes over there. But I know that the Kings took over there by Hoyne and what you said over there by the Kings over there. But that goes from way back, way back. Okay, Shy West Patch used to be on. Oh yeah, I don't. You know what? Puncher's still alive, but I ain't got to talk to him. But when Puncher was younger, and I don't know, when I was a little kid, 7 or 8, Puncher was 20 some years old. He used to fucking try to chase me out. He didn't like me, you know, and I didn't get along with him. But when I got older, he did some good stuff in the neighborhood, but then he got too egotistic. You know what egotistic means? That means that he wants to be, he wasn't the original leader of the Ashland Vikings. The original leader of the Ashland Vikings was named Pete Bosques. And Pete Bosques came from, Pete Bosques was Puerto Rican, but Pete Bosques was there. He was from his family. He spoke Spanish. He was from Puerto Rico, but he was a Basque. And if anybody knows, look up who the Basque, Basquer, and they're half in Spain and half in France, and they've always been the killers for the Spaniards or the French. So he was a gangster. He had buildings on Ashland. He ran pool tables and he ran gambling pinballs, and he was involved with the mafia. Not the mafia. We don't call that here in Chicago mafia. We call it the outfit. He was involved with the outfit from Grand and Ogden, okay? So you know what I'm talking about. All right? You're talking about the Spalachos. You're talking about Joey Lombardo. All right? Don. I call him Don. And why I call him Don? Because I met him once. Who they call the clown? Get the fuck out of here. He was no clown. But Mr. Joe Lombardo, I got to meet him once, and I call him Don Lombardo. Don Lombardo. And he was cool with me. It was like, hey, he shook my head. It was over there on May and Grand. I was a little kid. I used to hang over there by Grand. Yeah, Grand and Ogden. I used to hang out over there when I was a little kid. 7, 8, 9 years old. You know, I would be over with Italians. I had my cousins that were Italians and Mexican. They were Mexican Italians. And I knew Joe. I met him. I would see him around, but I would never approach him. And then one day I had the opportunity. He was riding his bike. That was at the time when they were trying to look for him. Okay, he's an old man. The man was an old man. What happened to Papa? What happened to King Tone? King Tone. I don't know. He's from New York. Tone ain't from here. So I don't know, but as far as I know, he got out the joint, and he's doing good in New York. He's got a not-for-profit. Yes, Jaws. You used to see him too. See, he used to ride the bike down Grand. Remember at the end? Yeah, man. Man, Jaws, I gotta meet up with you, bro. Hey, John, did Lord Gino save us? Yes, he did. Lord Gino, that's some blood king from, yeah, Jaws, that's from New York. But the other brother, Lord, okay, so what happened, there was a riot in 1978 in Pontiac, Illinois. My cousin, my uncle, my uncle, Playboy Chael from the Kings, was there in 78, and he was Lord Gino's bodyguard, okay? What happened was, the riot happened, there was a guard, there was cool. Yeah, Jones, yeah. And what happened was, my uncle and Lord Gino, there was a guard that was cool. He was cool with them. So the Pretos were burning the place down, everybody, killing guards. They killed 3 or 4 guards. And they wanted that guard. But my uncle and Lord Gino put that guard in the cell with them and saved his life. But the only thing that happened was Lord Gino didn't get credit. My uncle Playboy Chael got credit. I went down to 70. I went down there when the parole, the guard that got saved, that they saved, Lord Gino and my uncle Lord Playboy Chael saved that guard's life. I went down there. He went to, and before the parole board for my uncle Playboy Chael, and Playboy Chael had 100 to 300 years twice, but he was eligible in 10 years back in the old law. So the guy went up there, testified. Yeah, Joy Lombardo didn't want that gangbanging shit there. Because it was about money, making money. Fuck that. All right? King Ace is a funny kid. I don't know who that, but so let me finish the story about Pine. So Lord Gino, my uncle, protected the guard. The guard lived. 3 other or 4 other guards got killed. They burned down a whole bunch of places in Pontiac. Some got indicted, some didn't. Black gangsters, whatever, vice versa. And my uncle went up for parole. That guard came. I was there with my grandmother. He went in there, told the parole what happened, gave me a kiss, gave my mother a kiss. His wife kissed us. His kids kissed us. The guards hugged us. They hugged my uncle, and they let my uncle go, Playboy. But they didn't let Lord Gino go. So that's where I'm at that too, because I want to use that now, because I am out for getting Lord Gino out. I think all the Latinos in this city, I don't care if you folks or people, should be pushing for Lord Gino to get out. Plus, a couple of kings were Italians. Yeah, there was a lot of Italians. Either they were Italian or Puerto Ricans. It got mixed up early in the game. It was just that it was not really talked about. All right, there was Puerto Ricans. I'll tell you that my aunt, I'm gonna interview her. All right, Nolan Town. Yeah, 63rd and Ambrose from Nolan Town. Free David Ayala. Yeah, Dave. Oh, David Ayala should be out. Yeah, he should be out. He served his time. And we should also get Lord Gino out. That's true. And we could do it if we get together politically to get him out. It'll happen. Other than that, we can never get uh, 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 David Ayala won't come out. Lord Gino won't come out. None of them. All those guys can come out. I'm not only talking about the Latinos. I'm talking about whoever has been in the Little Village is fake now. Is it? I don't know, bro. I haven't been over there for a minute. I just know that I know my guy from the Stone Kents. The Stone Kents are there. I don't know what his real name. They did time Freedom. They did their time. Yeah, Freedom. They did their time. Crazy hell yeah. Oh, Fernie. So Prince Fernie, I got Prince Fernie. I'm gonna look. Where the fuck is my phone? I know Prince Fernie's brother. I met him. I know where he's at, and I talked to him. I had his fucking number. I want to see, because what I do is I need him. I told him, you have to give me information. You got to talk. Was the main dude in the after Cato passed? Was the main dude? I don't know about Cato. Did you know Karate Joe from? No, I didn't know Karate Joe. I knew Pac-Man from the Bishops. Pac-Man. Well, back in '83, I knew Pac-Man. Fernie. Yeah, I know Fernie from the main. I don't know him personally from the streets. I know Fernie's brother out here now, and I know the story. No, David Ayala's not dead. I heard he was in Dixon. Cato, yeah, all those. Listen, They were all good brothers. We all got caught up, man. Could you imagine, man, what kind of fucking power we would have had if we would have been all up together? Imagine the power we would have had if we were all together. You talking about fucking power. And it's not gang power, because what I'm talking about, we get our get your motherfucking voter's card, nigga. I tell everybody, man, don't fuck up. If even, listen, I'll tell you the bad thing. I don't care if you're in a gang. If you're in a gang and you live, did you know King David from the 80s? King David, which King David? From the GDs? No. Yeah. Yeah, I know Baby from the Maniac Latin Disciples. Baby from the Maniac Latin Disciples had a brother, had a cousin named Fernando. And Fernando was a Harrison gent. And Baby from the Maniac Latin Disciples, before he became a Maniac Latin Disciple, Baby came over us with the gents and was hanging out with us. He got caught up. We had a high-speed chase. I was driving. Woo! Baby was in a car. He had a radio with fucking batteries. It was Baby. It was Fernando. It was me. It was Cuba. He just came from Cuba. And it was, did you know any? Yeah, I'll tell you Ambrose in a minute. So, and it was like 3 black brothers we had that the vice lords tried to make them gents, or tried to make them vice lords, but they didn't want to. They became gents with us. They were in there. Charles, Big Charles, Maurice Riley, my brother Maurice Riley. Oh, you guys on the north side too, damn, bros? Damn. And we got into a high-speed chase. So Baby got caught, though. He went to the joint. And he didn't go to the joint. We were juveniles. But the car wasn't stolen. Have you heard of Arab from the... Yes, I have. And not only Arabs from the... Not only Arabs from the fucking Simon City Royals. I knew the Arabs. They were Latin Kings. What were they called? What were they called? The Assyrian Latin Kings. Was it? I knew Benji. I knew Benji from the Assyrian Kings on Lawrence. Assyrians, Latin Kings. Yeah, a whole bunch of Syrians and Arabs. They were like this. Motherfuckers had that whole area. They were all Latin Kings. I knew Benji from the Assyrian Latin Kings on Lawrence. Is that the one you're talking about, the Arabs? Joey from the Ambrose? No, I don't know Joey from the Ambrose. I just knew Pac-Man. And I got, in my book, I had the story about the Ambrose in the late 70s and early 80s. So I got a story about the Ambrose, about motherfucking the Greek from the Ambrose, how he was out there on Paulina and 21st or Cullerton, por ahí, and how he got killed. The last time I talked to Gino was when I seen him probably in 77 in Pontiac visiting room, because in those days you go into the visiting room, you could meet the people. You can't do that now. But back then, you could meet and they would take pictures, you could buy food. And me and my uncle, my grandmother, Edna, rest in peace, that's my mom, my grandmother, my mother too, Puerto Rican grandmother. My mother, me, my uncle Playboy Chale, and then Gino was there with his family, and we took pictures, and then one of the pictures is out there somewhere. But when I was a young kid, I threw up the crown. It was me, my uncle, Playboy, and Gino, and I'm like 12 or 13. I don't think I had turned jet yet, but I was throwing up the crown with them in Pontiac. Those photos are out there. They're out there. They keep them. People have a whole collection of them. So yeah, it's not like I'm saying that I was a bad. I'm not no bad. It's just it happens to a lot of people. We get connected. You're just blessed with the connection. You could either use it or don't use it. Because I know people that were Gene too. I knew a couple guys that were Genos, and they were, but they never, they did the thing. But I'm talking about it. That was a long time. You know how long that was? Geno should be out. All right, Geno should be out for sure. Fernie served his time. Fernie served his time. Those are the guys that we need to come out Jinx? No, I didn't know. Lynx or Jinx from the Ambrose? Lynx, I've heard of. I didn't meet him, but I heard about Lynx. Lynx was a bad motherfucker from the Ambrose. If that's what you're talking about. He has died, though. He has died. That's what I heard. He has died. That was Lynx. He did a lot of time in the joint, and he just got out not too long from the Ambrose over here by Pilsen. I heard of him. My cousins knew him. My Indian cousins, my Dakota Sioux, who cousins, James the guy that wrote Chicago Gang Book or Once a King, Always a King. Which one? Because I don't know the guy that wrote the book, no. But now you know the guy who wrote Brotherhood of No Love, Blood and Betrayal. Me. Get the fuck out of here. $600 for a 3-bedroom apartment. Let me see. Get the hell out of here. But like I said, okay, I don't want to waste your time. I got another shit. Little Link just passed. Little Link just passed too? Get the fuck out of here. I got to tell my cousin in South Dakota because they knew all these people. All right? We all knew each other. Link knew my relatives, you know? And my relatives, I had lost because, bro, I knew from the Milwaukee Kings. And the story was Shaky's in my book. Shaky killed his cousin, little man from the Milwaukee Kings, in 1979, January the 1st. I seen him go upstairs. The left, and I seen before that when they killed. Shaky's dead, so I could talk whatever. I seen when they killed the taxi driver. I'll send you the clippings. And Shaky went upstairs. Guess what he left? He left the hand. He left old boy's hand. The next day on January 1st, the blizzard of 79 hit, and I went up there with my dog. My dog was all crazy, and guess what we find? We find the motherfucking hand of little man. Run that past me again, because I didn't see that last message. Something about Kings or whatever. Yeah, so that's how I know Shaky. He used to be over there by Ashland and Chestnut. Yup. And I didn't like Shaky. You know why I didn't like Shaky? The motherfucker stole my BB gun from the basement, motherfucker. I was mad as a motherfucker. Because I knew I couldn't do shit. He took my gun. I looked at it, hey, that's my gun. He wouldn't give it back to me. He had it pumping and shooting it. He wasn't shooting at me, but who's KGBS? What is that? Any KGBS? I don't know that. I knew Cooley Lemos, Walton Boys, Latin Pimps, Latin Jivers, Milwaukee Kings, Ashland Viking. Yeah, Shaky was supposedly a leader. He was the leader because when he went to the joint, the SGDs was formed in the joint by Shaky and some other ones because when he went to the joint in 79 or 80, when they called for the murder of his cousin, little man, the Kings were going to kill his motherfucking ass. Plus, my uncle was there with Lord Gino, and Shaky had threatened my life. Shaky threatened my life, put a bomb in our house, said whoever's seen and is going to, if I tell on him, they were going to kill me, and all this other bullshit. And I'm 13. I'm with my grandmother, and we have to flee that building. All right? They put a pack of ham or meat, bloody, and Shaky went over there and put that package threatening my life and that I better shut up or they're going to blow up the building because he had just blown up the other building. And the reason why was because these buildings were owned by drug dealers and Shaky was giving them the flux. They let him in to security, but he was fucking them up. And then he ended up shooting at them. They got into a shootout. So Shaky was going to take over. So when he went to the joint, he couldn't ride no motherfucking... He couldn't 10 plus years. Yeah, more than that, nigga. And Shaky, that happened in 79, 80. Shaky could not go in a joint and run with nobody. And at that time, the Milwaukee Kings I don't care what anybody tells you. The Papo King from the Milwaukee Kings and a lot of other Milwaukee Kings used to go in. When they went to the penitentiary, they were Latin Kings, brother. Latin Kings. Because the Milwaukee Kings had came out of the Latin Kings too. I put this on my motherfucking head. Anybody says I'm a liar, bust my head. I knew Papo King too. Really good. Yeah. Yeah. You know, but when the Milwaukee Kings went into joint in the 70s and in the early 80s, they were writing Latin Kings. On my mama. He may have saved Larry Hoover's life in Stateville. Maybe that's why Larry Hoover sanctioned him to start the Spanish Gangster Disciples. Because you cannot start Spanish Gangster Disciples without the Gangster Disciples giving you permission. Why was Papo King locked up? Oh, Papo King was locked up for a whole bunch of shit. He mainly used to be a stick-up guy and drugs. You know, he was black Puerto Rican. You know, black Puerto Rican with the fro, everything. And he was a bad motherfucker. I knew Papo King. I knew him when I was a little kid. Since I was a little kid. I knew all of them. I grew up in that neighborhood. The Milwaukee Kings, the Latin Kings, the Harrison Gents the Harrison Gents were the only ones that came from that neighborhood. The Milwaukee King came from that neighborhood. The Latin Kings, the Ashland Vikings came from that neighborhood. The fucking Walton Boys, the Cooley Lemos, the Noble Knights, the Cinos. I don't know if they have a leader, bro. But I do know that the old ones that are still alive, they still got their junta. They don't fuck around. They still meet. But they're all politicians. All right? So the guy I knew, I can't tell you his name, but his story's in the book, and his name comes out as Rex Lex, which the king is law. And I got the story, and that story goes back to 63 that he told me when the king started. So it's called The Rising of the Latin Kings, and how they came up with the political party with Mayor Daley, who gave them all jobs. Shit we didn't even fucking know about. Alright? Because they wouldn't tell us. Motherfuckers keep the shit to themselves. That's what I'm saying. I spread the word. Is there a job over here? Is this? Is there something we can do over here good? How can I come up? Is there something I can do to get me a job? And that's the motherfuckers I be yelling at, because if you do that, you're going to make your money and you're going to get a job. And that's true. I'm too old. I'm fucking old, man. Don't count me for shit, bro. But I'll tell you what, count me for what I tell you, that I will back up. And what I say is the honest truth. You can back me up for that. Straight up. And if anybody wants to challenge me, tell them I'm lying, motherfucker, I'll meet you. I'm motherfucking Division in Ashland by the Triangle, and we'll have a debate. Where's that? Did you have any info on the Campbell? No, the Campbell boys, I knew them from early because I had cousins, Dragons, Indio, Little Indio, and Abel. I knew the UPCI. That's what Puncher started. United, some shit. He tried to start that. That shit didn't even go nowhere. That was all garbage, bro. For real. It was just, Puncher was trying to be, yeah, Fred Hampton met with the Land Kings. You guys, we all got connection. I got pictures with Fred Hampton Jr. I know Fred Hampton Jr. You want, can meet by the bar. Yeah, we can meet by, you want to meet by Walton and Ashland? Oh, I'm going over tomorrow. Yeah, Manolo's bar. Get the fuck out. Nigga, that's a pizza joint now. But yeah, it was Manolo's bar. Look, Jaws, you want to talk to me? I'm going to be in the area by Ashland, all through there. Chicago and Ashland, Division and Ashland, up to North Avenue. Tomorrow, getting more signatures. Because I've been out there getting my signatures for Joe Moreno. You know, like I told you. Yeah, if anybody wants to join me tomorrow, you know, come out and holler at me, bro. Let's do something good, bro. You know? I mean, the neighborhood is beautiful, bro. And the people are there beautiful, too. All those people that people want to say, oh, yuppies. No, you know what? Those young people, Yuppies, they're cool people, bro. You, you just gotta approach them the right way, like a human. That's a lie. We were all together, yeah, and they were for it, but it wasn't that we were against it. It was that Puncher was full of shit. I gotta tell you, Puncher's blind. The motherfucker's, he's always been blind. I tried to get Rat to tell me where the motherfucker lived, but he wouldn't tell me, like about 7 years ago, because I wanted to get that motherfucker. I'm sorry to tell you that. But I knew Puncher real good. And his real name was Willie Soto. That's his fucking name. Fuck him. He was always he wasn't shit. You know? He wasn't shit. That's why I say I wouldn't talk about it like that if it was real. He was a coward. Puncher was a coward. Coward. You know? I wouldn't say that, bro. And if anybody wants to challenge me one-on-one, like I said, I'll meet him right there in the hood. I'm right there. We'll just do the debate or on phone. Yeah. He didn't care for the community. That was a damn lie. Puncher wanted power. He wanted to be, at that time, the Warriors movie. The damn yuppies took good. Because you know what? They're cool as fuck. Puncher wanted to be Cyrus from the Warriors. The movie Cyrus from the Warriors had hit the Warriors. And Puncher thought he was going to be Cyrus. Puncher was a coward. My Uncle Kelly picked Puncher up by the throat like this, lifted him up after he went over there talking about Walton Noble was his and we fought him. Picked him in. No, I was right there. I'm with my folks. And all the folks who were behind him, guess what they did? Shit. Then he came back with some other motherfucker. He tried to call the SDs. He tried to call my boys motherfucking Yo-Yo and all and his brother and all these other guys. And they came Pete. Down Walton, 5 carloads. When I seen it, I was like, damn. But I didn't have no doubt that when Pete seen me, he was in the front of the car in the hood. They came down Walton toward Noble from Ashland. They came 5 corridors. They came about 30 deep. 30 Saint Disciples. When he seen me, he looked at me, he was like, what's up? He looked at Puncher. He seen my uncle there. He jumped off the car. He said like this, everybody, let's go. And they all left. And they left the Vikings by themselves. They had, Puncher walked out there like a bitch. All right? Like a bitch. My uncle picked him up from the ground, off his feet, with his 2 feet dangling, and let Puncher, is that the house with all the... No, that house used to be where we used to hang out. I knew that guy. His name was Chester, right? You got the right name. Chester. That was his name. I'm Chester, but his name was Chester. I believe. Was it Chester? No, wait a minute. The house with all the crosses was on Chestnut by Ashland, but his name was... Yeah, they were deep. They came... But listen, we had our own shit back then. That's why I don't agree with gents fighting the SDs or the SDs fighting the gents, because we used to be together. Don Rockwell's... Yeah. Why can't we do it? Do you remember the first? The first? Which first? So anyways, I fucking forgot what I was talking about on this fucking video now. You guys got me going. Anyways, like I said, I still got one more joint. I'm going to do another video. This one, I forgot what the fuck it was because you guys got me going. But I'm going to do another one in a minute. And like I said, man, let's keep this going, man. Put some shit up there, man. Let's see what's up. Dude, Puncher... No, I don't know if Puncher lives in Chicago. He may live in Puerto Rico because he used to live... Puncher's family owned a building on Pearson and Ashland, which is a condo now. And that was the first place that I knew was the club for the Ashland Vikings. The second place, because Puncher was not the original Ashland Viking. Like I told you, the original leader of the Ashland Vikings, they were older. And his name was Pete Bosques, who's dead now. But Pete Bosques was, he was a Basque from Spain. And he from Puerto Rico, but his family came from Spain, and he was organized crime. So Pete Bosques was connected with the outfit on Grand and Ogden with the Italianos for the slot machines, pinball machine, all that shit, because he had taverns and he had clubs and shit. And then my uncle Rat he was a Harrison Jr. Rat, and he turned Ashland Viking. Rat used to be in there, and he was the security there, and I would be inside of that place with him. Repeat that again. I was in there with him when I used to see the police. No, Puncher was not. He came after. The only one was connected to the mob from the Ashland Vikings. See, the Ashland Vikings didn't start off. Some people say, "Oh, it's street gang." No, the Ashland Vikings, bro. When they started off, there were guys from that neighborhood. But the Ashland Vikings started off as a motherfucking organized crime gang. No, the Kings didn't kill the founder. The founder, Pete, he died of natural causes. The Kings didn't kill him. He used to be, his relatives were Latin Kings. That's bullshit. Ain't no Latin King killed and ain't none of that bullshit. Don't believe that. The Vikings used to be with the Latin Kings back then in the 70s and 60s. Bob Barker, or what's his name, Barker? I'm trying to think. Eddie Barker. I knew Eddie Barker. He was over there. I used to always think it was a Cino. I shot at him a whole bunch of times, and then finally I caught up. He seen me in the hood, and he told me I'm not and then that was it. I forget. He was cool with me after that. I don't know how the Eagles come about, but I tell you what my uncle, Playboy Chill from the Latin Kings, told me. My uncle Chill from the Playboy Latin Kings told me, from Playboy Chill, told me that the Latin Eagles is one of the oldest Puerto Rican gangs in Chicago. So you figure that. So you're talking about 50s. The Audubon, I missed that, Jaws. But the Latin Eagles is one of the oldest gangs in Chicago. Oldest Puerto Rican gang in Chicago. If I'm not mistaken, it may be older than the Latin Kings. Grand and Hoyne, Cinos, Grand and Hoyne. That's the only ones I knew over there. Grand and Hoyne. That's the only ones I knew over there. You know? What really happened to Papo King? Okay, thank you. So Papo King got a violation. He was supposed to get shot in the leg. But the dude who went and carried out the violation killed him instead. And then in turn, he got killed. Yeah. Jaws with the Barkers. Okay. There had to be Eddie Barker too. Yeah. The Eagles, yeah. I'm still cool. We got cool. The Gents and the Eagles after that, during the 80s and all that. The only thing that happened with the Gents and the Eagles was a long time ago, and it was a building that got on fire, caught fire in the Eagles hood, and the Gents lived there, and the Gents' daughter, one of the Gents' sister, who was little, died in the fire. She got trapped in the closet. So the Gents believed that the Eagles firebombed the house. Did Papo King meet Papo? What was that? Papo King what? Meet who? So that's when we went into war with the Eagles because of that fire. So nobody really knows if it was true that the Latin Eagles threw that bomb or not. They don't know. But the Gent's little sister did die in that fire. Did Papo King and meet Fred? Yeah. Fred Hampton came to all the neighborhood here in New York. Chicago moms have some big on us, but like we have some Chicago moms, but smaller numbers. Mighty Mexican brothers running over streets everywhere. That's right. Okay, yeah. So Papa King, yeah, he did have, so because Fred Hampton Sr., Chairman Fred from the Black Panther organization, I remember because, see, that hasn't been that long. Before he got killed in December of 69, I believe, or 60, was it 69 or 68? He would come to these areas over there by West Town, and we would meet him, and we would go over there to Old Town. That was a Puerto Rican neighborhood, and he was moving. He had the Rainbow Coalition, and the Rainbow Coalition was all about everybody getting together. He even had white people. They had the Confederate flags, okay, and all that together. I'm trying to remember their names because there's some badass motherfuckers too. And he put he's check out Fred, check out Chairman. I'm gonna, after this video now, you know what you made me do? You made me go back. I'm gonna have to go do the video on it to remember. But I got a photo when it comes out, and I speak about Fred Hampton in my book too. And I also got a picture when I collaborated with Fred Hampton Jr., which we still are now together with the not the Black Panther Party, but the Black Panther Cubs. That's what Fred Hampton Jr. has. Fred Hampton Jr. got the Black Panther clubs, okay? That's what is going on. Yeah, I remember Red before he got killed. He got gunned down, right? That's the Red you're talking about? I knew Red. Red was, we were both gangbanging. He came at me with guns. I came at with him guns. He had me surrounded. All of that shit. I met Fred Hampton Jr. And when I was little, I got to see Fred Hampton from a distance, like in a room. I didn't go shake his hand or nothing. I didn't know Outlaw from the Maniacs. Yeah, he got killed. He got killed in Huron, Illinois. Outlaw, check that out. That's a trip, bro. All that shit, this is all history getting put together. Everybody's history is getting put together right here. Yeah, so like I said, no, I don't even got one. I don't know if you put it. I don't got one of Papa King, man. I could have had him because I used to have him. I had a picture of him when he was in a joint. He gave it to me, but I ain't got it. No, Papa King is dead. He got shot and killed. He was supposed to only get a violation, but the dude who gave him a violation killed him instead. And then in turn, that guy came up dead too. Yeah, he was with his lady. She was pregnant when he got killed. It was Red, his lady, and his little baby. Yeah, Cheto, Papa King, yeah, rest in peace. I don't know if Outlaw is still alive or not. I don't really know him. I don't really know him. But yeah, Papa King is dead and all those other brothers, you know. It's been a long time. I'm 57, bro. Like I said, and I'm not trying to promote shit. I don't care if the motherfucker want to buy it or not. But like I said, like I'm telling you, I got my book. It's going to be coming out. I'm going to keep on talking about little things, whatever I can, about little histories. And little histories together come out to be big histories. So I'm talking about West Town, Wicker Park, Humboldt Park, you know, over that way. Grand Avenue, the patch. I'm talking about from basically almost from Pilsen, the Italianos on Taylor Street, the patch on Grand, going all the way back to the Puerto Ricans over there and the Harrison Jennings, Vikings, all those people, all the way back to the 50s, from when my mother came here, when she was a little kid. I didn't know him, but I knew I got him in my book from when he got killed, how it happened that he got killed by the two Land Kings. And I got that from a Land King, so it's unbiased. But yeah, but the thing is, East Village didn't exist in my time. If I'm going to do a documentary, it would be the West Town, because East Village is a word that he started using maybe, 10 years ago? There was no East Village there. There was just West Town. Everything east and west of Ashland by Chicago was West Town. West Town went all the way up to, I think, possibly Wood Street. To Wood Street. And from Wood to Wood all the way back to the Chicago River on the east, and from Kinsey on the south all the way to North Avenue, possibly. That's all. That's all. West Town. They need to make a movie about Larry Hoover, Jeff Ford. Yeah, yeah. The Kings. They knew each other too on the street. There's a King that I know, named man, I forgot his name. I'll get it in a minute. They were because the Puerto Ricans were in West Lawn too. West Lawn, they were, and there's Puerto Ricans still there too. A lot of them are married with the black people there, and so you got a lot of blacks that are Puerto Rican too, over there in that neighborhood. You got a lot of people that you don't know that are Puerto Rican. Tule High School, no, and Roberto, no, but I know all about it. Tule's in there too. There was a shooting recently right there by Tule, six 6 months ago, that was covered up by the alderman. All right, my cousins went to Clemente for the Dragons, but I had went to Lane Tech at 79 to 80, and then from 80 to 81, 82, I went to Wells High School on Ashland by Augusta. I really didn't go to school. I was gangbanging. I got my GED in Cook County Jail in the SATC program for substance abuse treatment, and I got my GED, and from there I kept that. When I got out, I went to college. Eventually, became a drug counselor. Wells was bad. It wasn't rough. It was fucking bad. You had to walk around with a fucking gun. You had to walk around with a gun in Wells. Yeah. I remember, but when I first went there, everybody was there. I walk in there with nothing but all gents. I went to Lane Tech. I was fighting all the Gaylords by myself and went to jail. I was at the ending between the Gents and the Eagles war. So in other words, the Gents and the Gents and the Eagles were fighting from like what the 60s or 70s early. My uncles were involved in that. My uncles were involved with it, but I wasn't. Yeah, there was more than the Kings over there, bro. There was two Latin Kings I used to bodyguard and make sure nothing happened to them. That was Toto and Bebin. Bebin was the one that got killed in Humboldt Park by those maniac Latin disciples, the girls. So yeah, why did they protect them? Protect them because they were going to school there. They weren't representing. They weren't doing. No, I didn't. I didn't know David. I only seen him a couple times when I was in Menard in 1984, from a distance. But I didn't. I didn't meet him. Never met him. You know, he. They didn't never take the Harrison Gents. Never took Ashton Cortez from the Kings. What happened was the Kings fell back after Lord Gino, who was the chief back then over there in Cortez and Ashland. My uncle was there, Playboy Chael. There was a whole bunch of Batman, Chino, everybody, Tarzan, everybody. And what happened was when they all got locked up, uh, time faded. They still had it. They got older. They had kids. And what happened was their kids coincided in 1981 or two when Lord Gino. What was the story about Lord Gino and the Vice stories? Oh, I'll tell you that in a minute. My cousin was. Yeah, I'll tell you in a minute. So what happened was the Kings got older. They had their business there on Cortez and Ashland, which was division between Augusta and from Wood all the way back to the Expressway. That was all Latin Kings. And since they faded out, their kids were teenagers, and there was a girl that came over who was a lady junta. She was the chief of the lady junta. Her name was Rita. No, well, yeah, it was always, but that's after we took it from took it from from the PVPs. So Rita went over there, moved. She was like 13, 14, but she was a gangster killer, motherfucking hitman. She was down. And I'll tell you a story. It's in my book, nigga, about her with this and me and her. She backed me up. So she went over there, moved on Cortez and Ashland, Thomas and Ashland, and just opened up. took over to open up a section, and the kings that were older, their kids that were 13, 14, 15, became Harrison gents. So there's a lot of Harrison gents that are over there on Augustine, on Ashton and Cortez, and Thomas and Cortez that are gents. They may throw down the crown, whatever, but their fathers, their parents, their uncles, or whatever, were Latin kings. That's the real history. And if you don't like the history and it's true, kill me. I'm over there. I'll be over there tomorrow. You think I'm lying? Come and challenge me whenever the fuck you want. And that's the true story of how a girl from the gents, Lady Gent Chief, Little Rita, 13, 14 years old, went over there. She didn't take the neighborhood. She didn't take it from the kings violently. She went over there, opened a section, and all those young kids, they were the sons of all, and the cousins of Gino too, on motherfucking, was Lord Gino nicknamed Hippie. You know what? I'm going to ask Chief, you know what? That sounds familiar. I'm going to ask my uncle Playboy, Chael. I'm going to send him a fucking message. Okay, I'm over here by the Project SDs and the Morgan King. Yeah. So, yeah, they're over here, bro. There's a lot of shit. So, anyways, though, like I was saying, so Little Rita, no, Schurz, no, they used to be white boys. You crazy? Schurz was all white. We couldn't go in none of those schools, even Wells. They found Gino guilty of killing that dude, of the Vice Lord. And he served his time, but before he can get out, they served him with some new charges because they set him up. They didn't want him to come out. So Little Rita took over the neighborhood. There was no gun battle. There was nothing for that hood. Everybody was gone. And the older land kings, they were old. Their kids were the new gents. So what are you going to do? What are you going to say? Nothing. And that's how the gents got Cortez and Ashland and Thomas and Ashland. But through the work of a girl. But I'm talking about nigga Schurz back in 1970s. Gino didn't kill no motherfucking papa. Get out of here. Whoever told you that's bullshit. The dude that killed Papa King, he was on a mission. All he was supposed to do is give him a violation. One shot in the leg. And instead of that, he killed him. And he paid with his life for it. He was a Cuban dude. Forgot his name. But he got killed too. Gino never put that hit on him. Gino knew Papa King. They knew each other. Papa King was older than Gino. All right? Papa King was older than Gino. Gino was not an original Latin king. Gino became as the kings had already started. And he was just a little kid. Then he became a king. And that's according to one of the princes of the Latin kings. Lex Rex. This is in my book. I talk about Gino in there. I heard about Von Humble, but the only thing I knew about Von Humble is when I went in there, I used to be a counselor. Sure, they had to try. Okay, out of Wells, yeah. Well, it was a bunch of bullshit all back and forth. If everybody had everything straight, there wouldn't be no fucking bullshit. Well, all those schools, see, Wells, Schurz, Lane, Belmont and Central Park would be over there too. Todo eso. No, I don't know where Gino's at, but I know he's locked up, down, and we're trying to get him out. But the thing is, yeah, back then it was more personal with the Kings when it came to, yeah, it was more personal, yeah, more personal, of course. So, like I'm saying, back then, that was the way it is, bro. And we all stuck together, the Latinos, especially in the 60s and the 70s going to join, because the folks and the people did not exist until late 70s, bro. Oh, he's in Colorado Supermax? Okay, yeah. The folks and the people didn't exist until late 70s. I don't know what Papo did to get a violation. The gents turned folks, why the gents? Because they went to war with They went to war in the street with the gents, or with the kings, and then that alliance was broken. So what are they gonna do? Go to the joint, and who are they gonna ride with if they're fighting kings? So they have to join the folks. No, but I know a people gang that turned folks, and that was the Deuces, Insane Deuces. The gents were not people or folks. That didn't exist in the 60s and early 70s. They just rolled with the kings. Then it turned to be people and folks. And then they were riding with the people, with the kings. And then it turned then some of them were riding, some weren't. And then finally it just turned. The gents just turned all folks. Oh, the Saints. I only knew 2 Saints, and they were both down for murder, and they were killers. So the Saints, hey, yeah, they're gunners. They don't fuck around. They don't fuck around. The Saints. The motherfuckers are gunners. They're real motherfuckers. Real straight gunners. You can't, I mean, if you do something to them or you get in their bad side or whatever the fuck happens, you're gonna end up losing. The Insane Dragons in Humboldt Park were not kings. But the dragons on the south side were kings of people. So the Insane Dragons over here on Augusta, Fairfield, and Humboldt Park are folks. They've always been folks. Sinos didn't go from people to folks. Sino went from white power to people. They became people. Then they became folks. Yeah, the Latin Dragons from the South Side, they were people. Yeah, WPO, that's White Power Organization. Yeah, there was all the whites had their, yeah, they had their own shit. Yes, then they turned folks. Yeah. Same thing with the Gaylords. They were not folks or people, but eventually they turned people. You know? They were all part, they used the family. Yeah, did you know Walter Wheat, founder of Four Corner? No, but I knew Four Corner Hustlers when I was locked up. The one I knew the best was Nardo. If you know Nardo or Nardo, and I'm talking about I'm talking about, yeah, you might as well say 1983. The Cinos were the juniors for the outfit. All their relatives were all mafia. All the relatives were all, not mafia, all Chicago outfit. All right, they're from the patch. Those people there were connected with the Chicago outfit directly, with the Chicago outfit, and they did moves for them. I ain't gonna say much, but I did do an interview with my cousin before he died, who was Joey from the Bandit from the C Notes. He had one time been a chief, and we sat back after we found out we were cousins. We were trying to kill each other back then. He was freaked out. I was freaked out. Yeah, they shut down the construction companies, the Stones and the Vice stores. Back in the days in the 70s, the Gaylords were against everybody. The motherfuckers used to be about everybody. Joe Bandit, that was my cousin, first cousin, Jaws. So he gave me the interview. He told me, how it was over there, how they did their thing, and how, they're connected with the outfit. Because some of his family my family over there, they were outfit members too, back in the day. I ain't gonna say their names. I can't say their names, but yeah, we're all connected. I'm not one of them. I'm Puerto Rican, and I'm from over here, but those are our relatives still. A lot of us got relatives, especially if they're Italian or some kind of fucking Portuguese and all that other shit. I was born you were born in Ohio Leverett? Okay, then my cousin Joe Bandit. Joe Romero. Joey and Adam. Man, I used to be doing shootings over there, bro. We were fucking gunning it up. Oh, you're Italian Mexican? Okay, Jaws. Man, we were gunning it up back then, bro. I used to go over there, man, with the Cinos. The Cinos would be gunning. I did a hit behind it. Nobody got killed. I can tell you all about this shit. Nobody got shot. Nobody got killed. So this was just shooting at each other. Chicky, your mother's Chicky. Damn. I wonder. I don't know too much, but I may know her. I don't know. I'm 50. I'm 57, bro. Remember, I'm an old motherfucker. Because they wanted to make sure that motherfucker was not. They had to let him finish his sentence before before they took him in on a new case. All right, that's what they did. They made sure he finished every day of his sentence here in Illinois for the murder, and then they took him into custody for the federal shit. They were planning that. They set him up. He should be out. He should. You know. I don't know if Joe. What happened to Joe, Mr. Lombardo? Is he out? Yeah, they had to switch. Mm-hmm. But it's been a long time. It's been more than 50 years. I think those people should come out already. It's time for that, and we should flip a page to the 21st century and elect people into office that are 27 and 20s, 30s, you know? Because it's time to pass the torch. If we keep on trying to hold the torch to old people, we're just going to... Oh, he died? Mr. Lombardo died? Damn. Yeah, I remember he was real cool with me when I used to see him. I seen him like twice on Grand, and he would be cool with me. Yeah, I got. Isn't that their star? The Star of David. No, Larry Hoover wasn't Jewish, but since it was called the Star of David, I think that star came from this guy, King David. I don't know if he was a black disciple or a gas disciple. That's where it comes. No, it didn't come from. Let Ambrose know. Tell him where that comes from then, because I really don't know. Oh yeah, he was a great guy. Mr. Roberto, hell fucking yeah, he was a great guy. He was a cool guy, you know. Yeah, there's blacks that are Jewish, yeah. Yeah, that's true. There's everybody that's Jewish. People look like me, people look white, people look black, everything. Matter of fact, they were one of the first. The blacks were one of the first. There were Jews. No. Yeah, I knew a whole bunch of black Muslims in the joint. You crazy? There's none but black Muslims in there. There's none but black Muslims in there. So what I would do, I'd learn their story. I learned their angle. I'd talk to them. I'd hook up. I read everything. You need to read everything about everybody if you want to be able to know where you're at. All right? I'm not Muslim. I'm Christian, but I give everybody the respect. You know, the black Muslims were in there, and they were taking care of their shit, looking out for their people. I'm the real. If you were black Muslim, you were in there, you never suffered nothing. You never suffered hunger, nothing. They looked out for you. For real. I was in the joints back in the day. I'm gonna cut this off because shit. This been a long ass time. I've been on the phone with, on the line with you guys, so I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna call it peace out. I want to check out some stuff that you guys talked to me about that I want to do some research on, and I appreciate you guys listening to me, and I appreciate the dialogue between us. This stuff is going to be forever, so 100 years from now, they're going to be able to look back and listen to what we talked about. All right? I'm more to all the brothers, to everybody. God bless. Thank you. Peace, brother. Thank you, Chito.